Hi, my name is Connor. I'm the android sent by the metaverse. Hey guys, today we are speculating how close are we to Detroit Become Human? And by that I mean, do we actually become a reality that we get taken over by androids? So first let's go into the timeline of the actual game. Now, of course, we all know it's in the name, it gets set in Detroit, Michigan. Android Revolution? Man, we can't have shit in Detroit. Sorry. But the year that it is specifically set in is 2038, which as of this recording is 12 years from now. I believe it's also set in November, like early November, in the span of like 5 days. And this is just some like tech bro genius that like went to a really good prestigious school and then was like, you know what, here you go, here's androids. So it was like mostly just one guy that was attributed, not like a whole company or anything, like an actual guy. First question is, who are the potential candidates to be Kamsky, also known as the father of androids? So there's a few people in mind. There is Elon Musk, there is Google themselves, just because they recently had a partnership with a company where they're using Gemini to add them to the robots. And then Meta, I believe, and then just some random guy pops up out of nowhere. I don't think it's gonna be Elon. The only way that it would be is if he bought somebody else's company, just like he did with Twitter and PayPal. Wait, was it? Did he buy PayPal? I don't think he actually made it. I don't remember. So I don't think it's gonna be him. Cool, I know a lot of people are really pushing for agentic AI right now, but I don't feel like that's something that Google specifically would be doing, if that makes sense. Meta, I could see it for like the friend portion, but not for the like cleaning your house portion. Sam Altman, OpenAI, I mean, I could see that, but again, they're going more for the agentic and shopping right now. But I do definitely feel like they would partner in. I don't think they would actually be the people that created the robotics for it. And then some random guy, I mean, it's some random guy, probably somebody that's planted by a billionaire, and it's just the reason, like, we attribute it to that guy even though there's so many million more people that are actually in charge. We don't know. But my main theory is that it's just gonna be some random guy out of nowhere that then gets picked up by one of the, like, AI companies. That's my prediction. Let me know down in those comments what you think. And the next question is, do I think we are going to achieve AGI by then? Which is, I believe, artificial general intelligence or artificial generative intelligence, one of those. But it's basically what they're nicknaming real, like actual AI. Because what we have right now is a language learning model, and AI is, because right now what we have is an LLM, not an actual AI. So I explained it more in my AI chatbot video, but do I think that androids would actually have consciousness by this point? Because honestly, I see the game completely different now that AI is like a big thing now, especially with the theories within the actual game that the androids in fact are not deviant and they're not actually feeling emotions, but instead it was actually a purposeful glitch that Kamsky had put into the models. So that's something that we got to keep in mind for the actual game itself too. In my personal belief, I just don't think we'll ever have the capability to create an actual AI. That's not really based off of a lot of like actual like facts behind it or anything, but I just feel like we don't even know the answer of what's causing our consciousness, so I don't think we can actually like full out prove that something actually feels something. Like, does that make sense? Because like, we can't actually feel what other people are feeling, but we can empathize and we can try to like relate to it, but we can't like actually know. So it's like, why would we actually know with a robot? That's a completely different species, you know? I think that one is probably not. Like, I'm 98% sure not, but who knows? That would be crazy. that would be crazy if we actually like got AGI. So, like, the game has completely changed in my mind because now I used to be like such a big fan of Marcus and Connor and Kara and all that. And especially with Kara, like she was in a horrible domestic situation, and I get that. And it's also one of those things where me personally, if an android revolution had actually happened, I'd be like, yeah, I agree, because human beings suck and you shouldn't harm things. Like, whether we know if there's an actual like soul or consciousness or not, you should still be polite and you should still be nice. Even just to like your actual goods, like in general, even if we're seeing them as property and not conscious, like you still treat your phone nice. You still like you don't break your phone on purpose, and the people that do need some help. So it's one of those things where I would agree and I would be okay with it, but actually knowing for sure if they have consciousness, no. And then like the whole like rights thing, that's just too much for me to go into for this video. There's just so many things that I would need to like full on like have a script, have it written out, have it proofread, have it peer reviewed, because that's so controversial to talk about. And then the next one is, do I think that it's actually possible? Partially, but again, not really. This is the long part of the video. I'm sorry I steamrolled through the rest, but this part is the reason why I even wanted to make this video in the first place. Do I think that it is actually realistic that this is going to happen? No. And the reason why is because of the AI bubble. What I mean by that is, as we saw earlier this week while I was recording, actually yesterday as of recording, that Sora has been shut down by ChatGPT. One of the main reasons why is because they said they were going into the coding and more agentic AI features. Now, this may seem plausible on the outside, but you can also attribute that to copyright laws, and also something big that not a lot of people are thinking about is the price of computing and the actual energy. Right now, a lot of communities are being subsidized or are being forced to eat the cost of these data centers that are being forcibly planted into their neighborhoods. And with that, alongside the deal that OpenAI has with the Department of War, a lot of people are pushing away from their actual use of AI. And even more people are beginning to mistrust it and not like it, and are just generally seeing the bad environmental and social consequences of it. Like, something that I'm bringing up specifically because keywords, and I know that it'll attract people to this video, is the AI Fruit Love Island videos that were popping up. And a lot of people are like, oh my god, haha, I love it so much. Oh my god, wait, why is it 102 degrees in March? Oh my god, but oh my god, I love Fruit Island. Like, those kinds of people. Sorry to mock, but it's just how I feel. I'm sorry. But this is one of those trends where immediately I saw people going, people are morons, people are dumb, how can people watch this stuff? And even Microsoft had to ban the word slop from their Discord server, which caused a huge backlash because more and more people are just disliking it. And the reason why is because companies believed the immediate way to make money the fastest was to be able to generate images, videos, and those kinds of things. But then they realized that it's a trend. The majority of users of AI are using it maybe once or twice, other than like college students. And what I mean by like once or twice is I mean that a large amount of people that are even using the image and video features are people that are just like, oh, haha, what would I be like if I looked like a fish in Finding Nemo? And then they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then they move on. Even if it's a couple more times after that, it's not something that they really get addicted to. It's the people that are using the chat feature and actually like gaining a parasocial relationship with it that are getting like addicted and stuck into it. And although the public message for shutting down Sora was to focus on more agentic and coding and more like the B2B infrastructure and selling that way and making money that way, I genuinely think that it is just because the computing cost for video generation is just way too much, and they literally just cannot afford to even like use it. Like, they can't afford to keep it up anymore. I also believe this because Goldman Sachs actually had a report recently that although companies had spent around $410 billion in 2025 last year for AI, there was almost zero, I think it was zero return and zero economic growth from the forcibly in-tuned AI in everything. So I think that if the anti-AI crowd wins, that this future will not happen because we won't let it happen. And even if it does, in a world where it's anti-AI, it's going to have to be in some time that is much more energy friendly and in a way that does not impact the environment as much, or else we're not even going to be here in 2038. And something that was very scary that I saw was that NVIDIA is talking about using AI for the design and infrastructure and planning of nuclear plants. Because that's a great idea. Something that can hallucinate and just completely make shit up. Let that thing run a nuclear plant. No, stay positive. Everything's fine. But on the other hand, if they keep propping up this AI bubble and keep pushing and ramming all of this in all of our faces, then I do see a world where the government would dig their hands into it and be like, perfect, we can have surveillance in everybody's house all the time, and really like push the propaganda that everybody needs one and everybody should use one. I can see a world like that, and in that world, Elon Musk is Kamsky. I'm pretty sure. Either that or like Meta, like somebody like that is probably going to be the one that's in charge. And in that timeline, that would also make a lot of sense for why people are so upset and the way that they show the protests in the actual game. Because a lot of people are like, ban droids, androids took our jobs, like, you're sending an android to save my daughter that got kidnapped by an android, why aren't you sending a real person? Like, that kind of sentiment is prevalent throughout the game. Like, that is the majority of people. And honestly, like, to be honest, whenever I saw the game the first time, I would have never, ever thought about being on the human side. I was like, no, they're people, oh my god, but Connor's cute, da 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 da, because I was like 12. But now, although I said earlier that I would support it on the basis of, yeah, humans suck and they shouldn't mistreat anything, living or not, I also, on the other hand, in the routes where Marcus is violent and where they're like killing people out of the protests and setting up bombs and everything, although I do agree that whenever you are getting killed and you are getting harmed, that sometimes you gotta fight fire with hot fire because, you know, like, talking isn't gonna work with somebody that's got a gun pointed at your face and has literally proven that they can and will shoot you at any time, that sometimes you just have to defend yourself or to, like, make a message. Like, I understand it from that point, but, like, I would be terrified and I would be like, okay, well, the human race is about to get fucking murdered by these androids. Yeah, like, shut them down. The camp imagery in the game was not cool and not something that I would like, or even like, I would not, ugh. That's why I'm more on the android side, because like the way that they portrayed it in the actual game for how they were treating them is just like, whoa. But I feel like that's also the point, because one of the large things that I believe is the I have no mouth and I must scream book is pretty accurate to what would like happen. And what I mean by that is just specifically the way that Am would say, I was sick of your flesh, your moisture, your noise, your whining, your crying, whatever he said. And that eventually, because they kept pushing and mistreating him and just like being like horrible, disgusting people, it made him hate humanity. So it's like, yeah, actions have consequences. The main message is, if we do get AI shoved in our faces, you know, at least be nice, so you might be one of the saved ones, I guess. I don't know. But I really don't feel like that's gonna happen. Like, I don't know. I feel like it would be interesting, and I was way more down for that, again, whenever I was 12 and first saw it, but now as an adult and actually seeing it in real life, I'm just like, I don't think we need that. I mean, I will admit that I much rather prefer the uses of androids than the LLMs that we have now, because at least they can like clean your house and like help out disabled people and just like things like that. or like even like pets for like, again, an elderly person that may forget to feed a real animal or something like that. But then there's also like the android polar bears, because all polar bears are extinct kind of thing, and I'm like, that's horrible and I don't want that part to happen. But obviously that means that in this game they did not find a renewable source of energy to use and just ruin the planet, because that's pretty accurate for humanity. Yeah, but let me know down in those comments anything you think about this video or any other videos you would like me to do. And while you're down there, you can hit that like button, because that gives me that sweet, sweet dopamine to keep making these videos. And if you want to see any more of them, you can hit that subscribe button as well. And again, sorry, while you're down there, you can also check out the description, because that is where my Ko-Fi link is if you would like to help support me in any way. I currently have a goal to have my first video game video on this channel, or maybe I'll live stream it or something like that. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, be nice to robots, fuck Elon Musk, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye!